Hey, Dirt Farmer Jay here from dirtfarmerjay.com. We finally did it. We bought the DeWalt DW7350 Planer. Wanted to have this for a long time. We'll review this another time. Today, we're gonna talk about the planer stand that's from DeWalt, and we're gonna walk you through the assembly of it and some of the critical dimensions on it. Stay tuned. Hey, Dirt Farmer Jay here from dirtfarmerjay.com. We're excited to have this planer, but before we get into this planer, I really want to talk to you about the stand that it came on. This planer stand is designed to play well with three of the planers that DeWalt offers: the DW733, the 734, and the 735. Now, the 735 is this style planer right here, 4-post, has a 13-inch path through it. The 733 and the 734 are commonly known as breadbox type. They're the more shape with just 2 posts, and probably a more common planer in many shops. But this stand is pre-drilled on the top to accept all three of those planers, and because it has an MDF top, you could apply other planers as well, whether it's rigid or somebody else that's got another thickness planer. Now, let's walk you through assembling this down below, because it can be a little bit tricky, but we're gonna just hit a high-speed tour of what to expect. So the box that it comes in, pretty straightforward, broken down pieces inside of it. You're just gonna unpack it, unsleeve it out of some of the packaging here. It all came in form foam, packed very well. The top, which you see right here under the planer, it was on the underside of the foam. So at first you're going, where's the top? But it's tucked in nicely and kept safe there, and you're gonna pop that out. Now here's the tools you're gonna need to assemble this. Number one, the instruction manual. You'll also need a 13mm open-end wrench, a socket, and an open-end wrench that's 13mm, and a large Phillips screwdriver for some of the fasteners you're going to be putting in here. So those are the tooling that you need. A magnetic bowl is really handy too, a mechanic bowl. So as you're in each section, go ahead and throw your parts in that. And then DeWalt did a really nice touch here. Each of the part bags that go with a particular step or subassembly are labeled. So you can see that right there. That makes it really easy to know that you're using the right fasteners for the right stage of assembly. Now you're going to begin with the bottom rails, and what you can see here is the bottom side, and here is the top side. Notice that the cutout for the upright that will be installed shortly, but it'll be bolted all together loosely. Don't tighten it down at this point. And now, next comes the wheels and the wheel brackets. The thing to remember on the wheel bracket is you only install one bolt at this point, the one that's furthest away from the corner. The reason is the second bolt will be actually used to attach to the upright on the table itself. So don't do the mistake I did. Did I say that? Don't do the thing that I heard somebody else did of putting in the bolt and then coming back and going, oops, I got to take that out. Once you've installed the wheels, then you're going to fasten the rubber leveling feet on the opposite side of the frame, and that is where the table sets whenever you lower down the roller system. You can now mount the pivot wheel, and you have a choice of whether to put it inbound or outbound. Now I chose to put it inbound so that it didn't encroach into the workspace or into the work aisle. But what I found out in practice, I'm going to change that, even though this is set up right now with it inbound, because it's really difficult to get your foot in there. And if you put it out on the front area, it's just really ready to step on, and it kind of broadens the footprint of the machine a bit. And where we're going to place this machine in here, about right where you're standing now, right in this area, it's not going to be in a place where I'm going to come by and kick it. So we're going to go ahead and change that pedal up. Now it's time to install the frame uprights after that. Notice the difference between the top and the bottom. The top of the uprights have much more holes on it, and you'll use the remaining hole in each wheel bracket now to affix those uprights at the bottom frame. And now, with all the stand uprights secured, it's time to install the top frame portions. When you do that, you're going to align the holes properly at the top, and notice there's little nibs on some of the parts and detents that make those parts fit together. Line that all up. Now that you have all the main stand parts, the detents and the nibs are all in the right place, everything's aligned, go ahead and tighten everything up. And now it is time at that point to put in the shelf support sides. There's a middle shelf in the stand right here. As you can see, I already have something sitting in here. It's a moderate duty shelf stand, and you can go ahead and put those side shelf supports, then put the shelf in, tighten it in place. Now it's time to install the stand top with the provided bolts, lock washers, and nuts. You're going to use a fairly sizable Phillips screwdriver and box-in wrench to secure the top, and then take the time to align all the screw heads, make it look nice so it wasn't just slopped together. Now, I've jotted down the stand dimensions on the top here. You can see here that give you the width, the depth, the height, how far off the floor it is, and they're in the description below as well. That's good to know, so you know how high a machine or where the path's going to be in relation to other machines, or perhaps to set it so that the work surface is the same heights of others, so you can use them as outfeed tables or workpiece supports. The only thing to do at this point then is to go ahead and install the planer of your choice. This case, as I said, the DW735. Now there's a couple things you may want to know, just for those of you who do want to know working surface heights. One is the feed tables right here, both the infeed and the outfeed. Here's the infeed table and the outfeed table. When it is set on the floor like this, it's 32 1/16 inches above finished floor, or about 81 centimeters. If you're looking at the height of the rests across the top for handling stock or resting stock back and forth, this is 42 1/4 inches above finished floor, or 107 centimeters. If you look in the description below, also, I'm going to give you some critical dimensions of the cavity down below in here, so if you want to build an auxiliary cabinet or something like that, you know what size this would take, or maybe you already have a drawer set and you want to know if it'll fit in there. All that'll be in there for you. Well, if you really like this tool, you might be an aficionado of other DeWalt tools, like their very popular miter saw stand and accompanying like a sliding miter saw. Well, those are great systems that DeWalt has done, but they all have an inherent weakness, and that's the latching system that affixes the saw to the rails of the stand. We have a great solution. Check out this video where we show you a great solution from fixmystand.com. You'll fix it once, one and done. You'll love it, and you can do the whole refurb for under 50 bucks. And while you're at it, check out this other video that YouTube thinks is perfect for your interests. Until the next time, this is Dirt Farmer Jay from dirtfarmerjay.com.